flashing lights, voices shouting through the night. Static hum that shakes the ground, Rift Nation rising loud, profound. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Steel strings, scream the truth we bring, echoed chaos, hearts that sting. Electric veins that feed the roar, harder, faster, crave for more. Dust and sparks ignite the air, shattered silence, do we dare? Tidal force, relentless stream, we're the edge, we're the dream. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Rift Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain, we're the anthem in your veins. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Rift Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain, we're the anthem in your veins. Broken screens and flashing lights, voices shouting through the night. Static hum that shakes the ground, Rift Nation rising loud, profound. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Steel strings, scream the truth we bring, echoed chaos, hearts that sting. Electric veins that feed the roar, harder, faster, crave for more. Dust and sparks ignite the air, shattered silence, do we dare? Tidal force, relentless stream, we're the edge, we're the dream. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury.
The engine is starting up.
For launch, GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
Go pending final steps to cabin link check.
2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you could need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Well, hello, everybody. How are we doing today? We might shut that off for a bit because the words will go right over her face today. So the way that I have this set up. So we don't want that. So welcome to the Cosmic Cushion Podcast. The name says it all. We are your cushion. I'm Susan, the Viking Celtic Pixie. And then we have...
I'm Linda. So happy to be here with you guys.
So awesome. Whether you're listening to this podcast now, you're watching it on replay, or you're listening to it on one of the many platforms it does get downloaded to, please feel free to drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget the email address is riffnationnetwork@gmail.com, or you can come over and be a part of the studio audience. This one is a live show on Tuesdays, 3 o'clock Eastern time. So if you'd like to be a part of the live podcast, come over to one of our chat rooms on YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and Facebook, all at the Riff Nation Network. I'm very excited about today's show. And I really hope, I know this is going to get a lot of replays, but even if it's just us two talking, we can learn from each other and have a good time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. So today's show.
Great topic.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I was thinking about. Next week, I haven't scheduled it yet, but next week we're going to be doing hypnotherapy, which is not my specialty. I know nothing about it. That's going to be all Miss Linda, and I'm just going to be here to do moral support and hopefully a few laughs here and there, because I don't know anything about the topic. So, I can read, but I don't know anything about the topic. So that'll be fun. But do you guys know what we're talking about when we're talking about shadow work? People think shadow work. Well, why do I want to go? Shadow work is actually the process of exploring and integrating the unconscious or repressed parts of yourself to receive or to achieve a greater self-awareness and growth. Now, that's what shadow work is. Okay, hopefully everybody understood that. No, do you guys know where shadow work comes from?
Wasn't it Carl Jung who
Bingo!
came up with the term?
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, that's it. Exactly it. Comes from Carl Jung, which is awesome. He had a concept that he called the shadow, is what he called. And he was like... he was like a psychiatrist, I think it was
It's a
psychiatrist,
famous psychiatrist,
psycho
psychologist.
something. Yeah. So I will just say psychiatrist because I think it was something slightly different. So, but what he considered it was, to him, it refers to a part of the personality that actually represents or deny because it feels unacceptable, undesirable, inconsistent with what you consider your self image. Now, we all have self images, especially when we're younger. You know how when we're younger and it's like, oh my God, I can't go out like that. Just doesn't look right. You know, all those things you do as a teenager to try to look your best. And then you become either a mom, a grandma, or, taking care of your own parents as you get older.
There
And then you're
goes
like, I don't care.
I just want comfort.
Just put on a hat. So even though we're looking into parts of ourself, there's still parts of everybody we don't want to look at. That's the trick. We have to have that ability to be able to look at those parts of ourselves. Well, I'd like to say hello to Miss Lois Clark. And she says, hello, how are you two beautiful ladies?
Hi.
I am awesome. I am awesome. Miss Linda, are you awesome too?
I am perfectly awesome and imperfectly perfect.
Yes, I love being imperfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Perfect people are boring, by the way.
It
Guys
is.
know,
It is.
don't be boring. Be more like us. There you go.
So our shadows are not something that they are perfectly imperfect themselves.
Yeah, shadows. Say all the shadow work let your mind go in a mile a minute. Not me. I pass out. I have no problem falling asleep. I mean, because if I was a perfect individual, I think I would be boring.
We all would. And what a boring world it would be for us to walk around in.
No, we can't have everybody the same. So let's get into this. Do you know what parts of shadow are? And this is what comes out. And these are the reasons we need to work on these. These actually include negative traits like anger, jealousy, selfishness, but also positive qualities that we discourage ourselves in childhood. That's the issue. We discourage ourselves in childhood not to be like this. We can't be like this because it's not correct. And it could have been from consequences. It could have been it could have been from assertiveness. So these are things that we look at and it's like, oh God, we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to do that.
I found while I was reading over all the notes and everything, what surprised me the most, and I don't know why it did, but it did, was when they were talking about shadow work also can include those positive parts of ourselves that we've kept hidden. And it reminds me of the nuns, because we were Catholics years ago, and the nuns, how they would say, don't ever look at yourself in the mirror. That's vain. Don't ever brag about yourself. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. It took me years to get rid of that bull.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes. Exactly. And that's exactly the problem. Miss Lois Clark says, yes, it's so hard to let go of that, but I know I'm not perfect. And that's the thing. I don't want to be perfect. Join the imperfects over here because we're cool with it. And that's the thing. There's certain things as, childhood, kindergarten, high school. I mean, when I went to kindergarten, I'm a very strange, eclectic religion, but I had to go to a Catholic kindergarten because that's what was in the area that I lived in. I was born in Norwood. So in the area that I lived in, it was Catholic kindergarten. They hit you with a bloody ruler when you did something wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
they were mean.
Really?
They were mean.
Seriously, give me that rule. I'll hit you with it.
Right.
So, and then people wonder why I don't like math. Well, rulers have numbers on them, so numbers are bad.
Do you want to know? This comes back to shadow work too, because when I was in school, I was really good at math. I mean, I still have this thing about numbers, and I was ashamed to be good and let anybody in class see it because I didn't want to be better than the boys at something. It's terrible. But yeah, those shadows.
Guess what? We do this. See, we love you.
I love her.
I got all kinds of goofy little things over here today. Found them at a flea market. And that is so hard. It's like you don't want to be good at this, you don't want to be bad at that. Now, it's like me, high school. My parents owned motorcycles. I got to ride to school in the morning on a Harley Davidson. So, what does everybody expect from the girl that gets off the Harley?
Leather
Yo,
jackets.
what's up? Leather. Cool. Yeah. Can't be silly. So, did anybody in high school truly know who I was? No. Nobody knew who I really was. They didn't know that actually by nature I'm really goofy and silly. I had to be straight laced, straightforward. And of course, because I get off a Harley, I've got everybody coming to this freshman saying, can you beat this one up? Can you beat that? Well, yeah, I can, but I choose, I try not to do violence. Like automatically you get off, what is it? What is that called again? They're not profiling, but they're putting me in a certain category.
Stereotypes, putting you in a box.
Stereotyping me. Okay, so because both my mother and father drove a motorcycle, I get stereotyped. I mean, I'd get a ride home from one of the carpenter guys who also had a Harley, and he'd give me a ride home. So it was like, it's just, you come sometimes schools and the way that we grow up. Yes, that's part of the shadow work. What it does is it creates this person that society thinks we are. So what do? We conform to what society does. So this way we feel like we fit in. Ha ha. Ha ha.
And doing the shadow work, I mean, it helps us break
Yes.
free from a lot of that.
There is a list of a lot of things as far as shadow work. We're going to go through the basics, but there are exercises as well. Some of the exercises are in, yes, guys, don't get freaked out. They're in my grimoire, the exercises. I've been putting everything together for when something does happen to me. My daughter knows which book has what, just makes it easier. I'm just like, one of those happy-go-lucky, messy people that know what shit is. Then my man comes in and straightens it all out. So, okay, tell me where it is.
I'll borrow him. We need to borrow him to straighten us out.
My mother was like that. My mother had OCD. And literally, if there was a dust mark on the carpet, especially when she had ALS before she passed, she goes, so you need to come vacuum. This carpet is filthy. I would get up there, pull the vacuum on. I'd look, I go, which carpet? She goes, this one, it's disgusting. Look at it. And I pick up this little lint and I go, Mama, it's just a piece of lint. And she goes, oh, no, you need to vacuum the whole carpet. Okay. I didn't question it. I just throw the lint away and vacuum the entire carpet. I mean, it's just, because of the way that she grew up. That was a part of her. People say, oh my God, that's an issue. You can't do that. No, it's just because of how she grew up. They put it in labels. So I was a part of, what do they call it? The cool group. That's what they call it. They had the cool people. Then they have the nerds, and then
you're still cool.
It was like, you know what? I think it's more cool to be goofy than anything else. But
yes.
So how does shadow work exactly work? Let's see if Linda can come up with this, or Miss Lois. How does shadow work? Work. Sorry, how does shadow work?
So I see it in the context where people go, oh, I have to take this time and do all this shadow work. To me, it's more in bits and pieces. We see things, we meditate on what we might want to change, or what we see in ourselves. And also in your notes, there's this thing where we see something in somebody else that irritates the crap out of us. And then if we start thinking about it, we can see it in ourselves. But it takes slowing down and looking with an honest lens. Exactly. I think, to be able to see that. But it seems to be, for me anyway, steps and layers.
Exactly. Like people that have issues with controlling. I had a control issue. But that was because, and I learned this, the reason I had to have control of everything was because I've had people steal a lot of my ideas, a lot of things that I put a lot of work into. other people are either taking credit or stealing it. So because of that, not because of everybody else, but because of that, I became a control freak. Because if I control where things go, and I become this psychopath that says, no, I did that, that type of situation, then I wouldn't have to worry about anybody else stealing it. But I had to take that step back, reflect, take a look at myself. Okay, take a look at myself and say, okay, self, why are you so crazy? What's going on? And this is how I talk to myself, like that. So these are things that I had to do. But a lot of times what helps is journaling, self-reflection. Therapy is another one to good. Certain exercises to help. Those situations can actually help you out. What you're doing is you want to uncover the unconscious motivations behind the behavior.
So in your case, it was you were the good reason for it was you were protecting your babies, your projects, your work.
But it was affecting me more than it was affecting everybody else, because I became too controlling, not willing to accept help, and very when you become controlling, you become anal, or you become more like this.
I still have my moments.
Like that.
Yep. Don't leave the sink full of dishes.
Yeah. It's because you have to control and then what happens is, if you allow something, say like either control or jealousy or fear can turn into jealousy. All these things are, you look in the mirror and somebody once said, oh my God, you have one eye higher than the other, or one eye bigger than the other. So of course, what are you going to do? Every time you look in the mirror, you're going to be like,
it's like...
so you end up walking around going, hi. So what do? You make yourself look worse, just like the control maybe look like a total psychopath. But I admitted it, and that's what it is. I started to admit, even in public, even on the podcast, I was going through it. Yes, I have a control issue. I'm working on it. And every now and then somebody would remind me. It's like, okay, step back, Susan, step back. And it took me a while to be able to trust myself again. It wasn't the lack of trusting others. It was the fact that I didn't trust myself enough to keep things safe. That's the idea behind shadow work, is looking at yourself to see what happens. Certain things happen to good, bad, and then really bad stuff happens to a lot of people, but you need to look at yourself a lot. All right. Let's see. What else do I have here? I have a bunch of notes here. So, and again, chime in. If you're in the chat room, chime in at any time. I would love to hear of your feelings. Let's see. There's some examples here. If you find yourself snapping at someone unexpectedly or feel irrationally jealous, shadow work helps you explore the underlying causes and the reasons you're doing this. Okay, it could be something, anything. What if this person never did anything to you, but say there's a scent, like a smell, but that smell you don't associate with this individual. That scent is bringing you back to either a repressed memory or a situation where that was known. That's why journaling. I felt this at this time. I felt this at this time. And let's see, these were the colors. These were the smells. This is what I was around. Put that down. And then if you start to notice that certain things are coming up all the time. Wow, it's always when I smell, say, pine. Every time I smell pine, I act like this. Every time I smell pine, then you've got the trigger is the pine. So now you're able to do the shadow work to go backwards.
Yeah, it takes a little uncovering, but being able to sit down with, like you said, with that journal or whatever you're doing, to sit quietly and look.
Exactly.
Honestly,
it's like being a detective of your own self.
It is, and that can be fun. I mean, you can look at it as a game,
a scavenger hunt.
It doesn't have to be all that serious. You can make some joy out of it. Like, what can
Yes,
I
yes.
dig up that why that happened or why I'm like this?
When you start the shadow work, sometimes it's tough on yourself. And I'm going to tell you guys this, okay? Right off the bat. Okay. I'm not supposed to explain this until later, but I'm going to tell you right now for a reason. Literally, get a stuffed animal, get your favorite car, get a matchbox, get your favorite figure as a kid. I don't care. Get a blanket, get a pillow, get your comfort food, whatever it is. When you start really deeply working on the shadow work, have those comforts that make you feel better, because a lot of times we realize we did this stuff to ourselves. This was us that did this, because what did we do? We allowed other people affect how we react. So we literally, our control was gone. They had control over how we react to certain things. We don't want that. We want to be cool with who we are. Correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So it's okay. I mean, grab a tissue, grab a hanky. When I'm having a bad day and I'm sick to this day, okay, I'm going to be 61 on Friday. To this day, I still have, the old men's white handkerchiefs. I
Mhm.
still have 3 of them in my drawer, because every time I didn't feel good as a kid, I'd grab my father's handkerchief.
Oh.
So I'd have a handkerchief with me at all. I'm not embarrassed to say, yes, I had to have my daddy's handkerchief. So I don't care. And that's where you want to get to. I mean, I still have a lot more to go, but that's definitely where you want to get to. Now,
I always say I want my mom.
exactly. So
The
what
kids
reminds
left.
you of your mom?
Yep. Anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So what comfort can you think of? Like my father would be the handkerchief. What reminds you of your mom?
Tea and books. She would
There you
always
go.
make us hot tea and bring me a book. Yeah.
Fruit fly.
Oh
The
goodness.
hell? Damn. Anyways, well, we'll get that bloody thing out of the way. So,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. Get that comfort, that thing that makes you feel comfortable, that thing that makes you feel like, okay, I know I'm going through this and it's hard, but I also know that I was loved. At this point, I feel
Yeah.
loved and safe. This memory, this person, this scent, this smell, this color, whatever makes me feel loved, makes me
Mhm.
feel whole. So even if as you're going through this, this is something that really does help you out. So let you know. And yes, it's okay to hug a stuffy if you want to.
I've had a few.
I
Every
make
once in a
them,
while I
so
do.
I got a
Yeah.
dinosaur pillow. That's like my favorite right now. So I created that. So it was fun. Now,
Mhm.
the benefits of shadow work, because we're like jumping all over the place here with this. There is so much involved in this. When I first decided, I mean, Keith Ottisberg, formerly from the Otis Den on the Rift, and Howie, uh, Ed Odell, they would talk a lot about shadow work. So I started a deep dive research into this. So I've been like researching and look into it, and lo and behold, I'm looking at my grimoire, which is part my grandmother's, part mine, and I'm like, oh my god, look, it's right there in the beginning. Hello, I never looked at that section before. Oh, it happens. Now, self knowledge is the understanding of both the light and the dark sides of your personality. That's why they call it shadow work, because if you're mixing light and dark, what do you have? Shadows. Correct? Right.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Like the
you
moon in the sun.
exactly. Exactly. So shadow is like the middle ground. This is your light, this is your dark. My nose is the shadow. So, and that's what it means to walk in the shadow, look at your own shadow self. So, what this has done is it helps. It's going to enhance who you truly are on the inside, but also your creative self. A lot of self acceptance. Okay, especially women. We don't all like what we look like. I've never met a woman that thinks that, oh my God, I'm gorgeous. There's no such thing. Maybe on a video game here and there, but that's about it. Nobody does. Everybody's got something about themselves they don't like. Okay, but why don't you like it? Why aren't you comfortable? That's the part of the shadow work. What is it about this that bothers you? What is it about that that bothers you? We're getting into the start of it, which is your triggers. That's the
Mhm.
first thing you need to recognize. Your triggers. Again, journal. Okay. I have so many journals in my house right now. It's also actually going to help you improve relationships too, especially with yourself. Improving
That's actually
relationships
the
with
most
yourself.
important
Yes.
one is our relationships with self.
Yeah. And if you don't love who you are inside and out, how can we as people expect somebody else to do that? We need to be okay with just being who we are.
Yep.
Take the high
Yes.
school me. If people in high school see me now, they go, what happened? They wouldn't recognize me or my personality or about who I am because I was always, that, yeah, what's up? Yeah. Nobody can picture me like that now. And you in high school, you were afraid for people to think you were too smart.
Right.
Because that would
Right.
have put you oh God, I'm much older than you. So in my era, that would have been the nerd category. I guess they called it the nerds. But who did you go to for help with a problem? Hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could go and you could say, oh, yeah, I'm part of the cool crowd. Oh, shit, I'm failing school.
But when we're alone, I mean, and
Yeah,
and there's nobody there to listen to us or nobody to put those thoughts into our head, we are alone with our thoughts.
exactly. So you're alone with yourself, who you were, who you are. And that's the part we really need to look at right now. Emotional healing, it helps with, and also your environment. You can actually look at things within your own environment, your own home, your own inner circle, your own group of people. And there could be a part of it that actually makes you feel what? Drained,
Hmm.
withdrawn, sad, depressed, pissed off, angry. All of these emotions can come in because there's a trigger in your environment as well. So we're not just looking deep within our own spirit, we're looking at where we're living, how, what we're doing, who we're hanging with, who our friends are. I mean, do I feel drained around this person? I mean, damn, there might be a psychic vampire in the midst, but that's what happens. Do I feel energized and happy after hanging around? Oh man, yeah, okay, that's the good person. So, and just learn to look at things actually that way. Um, Common aspects of shadow. And then if you want to jump in anytime here, anger, which is suppressed feelings of frustration and resentment. The thing is, we can have resentment for ourselves as well. Insecurities, hidden self-doubt, or fears of inadequacy. I always thought I was never good enough. I was never enough. I was never good enough. So I was unlovable. So I was very standoffish. Why? Because I felt unlovable at the time. Shame, past experiences of prejudices of failures. We feel shame about that. And that's going to hit us as well. These things are going to hit us actually so hard, it's unbelievable. Now, shadow work is actually deliberate and often challenging. You have to remember this. It's challenging or self expression that helps you integrate repressed parts of your personality. By doing so, you gain deeper self awareness, emotional resilience, and the ability to live more authentically because you could be your authentic self in both the psychological and personal growth practices actually encourage you. And it's this is the comfort thing. We need those comfort things because if we are facing a truly uncomfortable situation, because like I said, some of us go through very bad situations. We need that comfort in order to go through that. The reason we have to go through that is we have to learn. So, yes, sometimes there are situations that are beyond our control. So don't give the negativity or the negative situation or the bad environmental, whether it's verbal, physical, or mental abuse, don't allow that to be absorbed within you. You you shouldn't be shameful because you couldn't stop it. You shouldn't be shameful because you didn't speak up. You should just literally, that's the hardest part to work on right there.
And I think, one of the reasons that it tends to be hard is, one, it hurts us if we see something in ourselves that we might not have been our best at, or we maybe we hurt somebody in life and we, feel ashamed for it. But most of the times, the things that we do, we're doing out of a reaction, and we're doing the best we can with what you have. So if somebody called you a name, and like you said, somebody called you something terrible, and you
Right.
started hearing it enough, you might take it into yourself, and it's gonna hurt to uncover that. And I really like what you're saying about this, the self-care and being the comfort, and making sure all those things are around you.
Exactly. Yeah, and you all need that. Hello, Miss Rhonda Harris,
Oh,
who
hi,
is on two
Rhonda.
different podcasts because she's part Gemini and has multitaskable personalities. No, Miss Orion Harris is on the Orion Effect and the freaking awesome paranormal show. So she multitasks. That's
He's
cool.
awesome.
Yes. Oh, look, there it goes. I accidentally pushed that button, and it goes
Oh.
over your face when I do that. So
It does? I'm not seeing it go over my face.
yeah, I see it go
It's
over
over
your
in the
face.
corner.
On
Isn't
my
that
end.
funny?
And that's weird. And I didn't want to put it over your face, but I don't know. I guess it depends what other people see. So, all
It's
right.
okay.
So,
I'm good.
and again, we're talking about that. So, what we need to do is we need to do self observation about what's happening within ourselves, and we need to track our triggers, like I said earlier. Okay. Tracking your triggers, keep track of it in a journal. It could be anything from a color to a scent to an actual person, a certain person. Every time you're around, something happens. We need to do that. A song comes on, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, no, I can't listen to that. You know how sometimes it's like sad songs, they just make you
Yeah.
like, I can't, that type of situation. It happens. It's, it's real. It's because what is it doing? It's bringing up that memory. But what memory? What aspect of that memory is causing this? That's the part we need to look into. Now, first thing you actually need to do is you need to build a foundation of self regulation. Is this the part?
That's like
huh?
That's like breathing, things like that, touching. Sometimes if you get too carried away, if you might look at something and recognize what it is, touch something and feel it, and just kind of ground yourself a little bit
Exactly.
first.
Exactly. That's your foundation. That's also your securities. Because as you're doing the shadow work, one of the things people do forget is it's very important to grab, I don't care, security blankets, I'll call them that. Your favorite stuffy, whatever. I mean, when you're upset, if one of your animals come to you, lock them in the room and say, I'm doing shadow work. No, but you keep these things with you because you need them. I mean, I'm a big crystal person. I always have been. So literally, this makes me feel safe. I wear tourmaline everywhere I go because then I feel safe. So there's certain things and aspects that I do on a regular basis now because, okay, I got tourmaline. I can calm that down. Another thing. Yeah, go ahead, honey.
I'm just gonna jump in here. For those of you that have pets, you might find you don't have to actually lock them in the room, that they will sense that you have something going on and they will come and surround you.
Exactly. Unless it's a really stubborn cat. So my dog will sit with me for as long as I want him, as long as I continue patting him. I could be blubbering, snot's coming down. He don't care. You don't need a tissue, Mom. Just keep patting. Keep patting me. Just keep going. Yeah, let me move so I can get my belly too. He's one of those. He's like, I don't care. Just pat me. Oh my God. So, and again, before diving into the heavy emotions, you have to establish emotional safety. And that's what we're talking about security blankets. Shadow work can actually be stressful and destabilizing. And this is what I mean. You're really going to feel this if you know how to ground yourself. And that's it. Grounding. Root yourself like a tree. I think I've said this numerous times on the podcast. If you can go outside barefoot next to a tree where there is grass, because stepping on pebbles sometimes hurts when you get older. So yeah, do that. That's what you want to do. If you can't just imagine them. Imagine as if your feet are actually growing roots into the ground to get that grounding work actually coming up. And again, as Linda always said, breathing. Okay, they call it it's not sound bathing. It's
It's a somatic, something like that.
yeah, what she said.
I think it's somatic breathing.
Yes, samika, whatever. It's breathing. Okay, a safety container. Here's another one. We're going to read this last one, then we'll read, then one of us can read what Miss Rhonda Harris has to say. A safety container, believe it or not, that could be anything from a pocketbook to a plastic container of items that you always keep together that make you feel safe.
Fidget toys.
Literally, whatever.
Fidgets.
Yeah,
That's what
if
we
you
use
like
for our
fidget
grandchildren.
Me, I like goofy stuff. So I surround myself with a bunch of goofy talking items. So,
You know, the schools are getting in on this. My
Yes.
grandson at school, he has permission to get up if he needs to take a little break. But he
Yeah.
also has all these little fidget things that they've provided for him
Yeah.
at school so he can have something when he's having a hard moment.
and that happens because nowadays there are more children that could be diagnosed with autism. But back in my day, when my kids were younger, it wasn't autism. They were called MR or borderline MR, and that's what one of my children has been diagnosed with. So that's the label they put on them back then. But now they're getting a better understanding of what actually autism is because they grow. What does Miss Rhonda have to say here?
She said, yes, in shadow work, she definitely had a few things that came up and paused her to pause and step back and come back to it when she was in a better place. And she said, I
Exactly.
hadn't thought of containers. But
Yes.
yeah, that's, sometimes that pause, just step back.
Yeah,
You don't
have
have to
do
step
that.
back for long, or you can and come back to it.
Why is this? That is so weird. Show.
Yeah, I just saw a little
And
like
then
I don't know
hide.
what's going on.
It's so weird. Now it's like darkened out, like you already showed that comment. So new updates for there. Another thing, journal. Now, if you're not the type to normally write in a journal, or you are the type this is, I don't want to carry that thing around. I have so many different types of journals. I mean, you name it. If I see something that, like, I love Scooby-Doo. Used to watch the cartoon as a kid. I have a collection in my bedroom. Scooby-Doo journal, I'm going to take it. I see something purple or with a cat or a goofy saying. I mean, I have one shelf of books that's just my journals. And those are meant to help you with the triggers. You can also use one in your container. You can use positive memories that you have within your container because we're different types of learners. We have audible, we have visual. So, and again, I only know audible, visual, and sense. So the touch. So there's many different types that we learn. So you can keep a little small journal with all happy, positive thoughts in your little happy container. Things that bring you joy, make you laugh, make you silly. Keep it in that container, and all you do is grab that container. Nobody has to know what's in it. Or you could just be like me and keep the crap all over the house. So,
I love this idea of one positive thing a day in a container.
Yes.
What if we made it like a challenge, like each individual person had a challenge of their own for a whole month? Think of one positive thing, write it down and put it in your personal jar. And then you can keep going back to it.
It could be anything from a thought, something written on a piece of paper. I don't care if you consumed your favorite food and you spoiled yourself once, put it in there, but don't make a habit of it sometimes like me. But anyways, put something in there that brings you that joy, that happiness. Name,
I love
people,
that.
place, things. I don't know if we have containers big enough for people, but you can write their name down.
You can always write their name down. You don't want to lock them in a little room.
Yeah. I don't have a container big enough to put my man in because, he's my happy place.
Yeah.
So, I can see dragging him around. Dragging him around all over the place. So track your triggers. we talked about this a little bit earlier. Sense. I mean, it could be a certain feel of something. It could be a sound that sets you off, you know, and that's the part you need to know what your triggers are in order to figure out what's causing the issue. So our triggers, things that bother us, okay? Those things happen. A shadow journal, especially when you're doing shadow work. I'm going to knock over all my books here today. I can see this coming. It happens. All of this shadow journaling is something that's really good. And when you are having a really good thought, when we're getting into the journal, okay, now the journal actually creates a healthy distance between your conscious self and your heavy thoughts. And people are saying, how? Well, what are you doing? You're writing down the heavy thoughts. So technically, if you look at it as an energetic aspect, we're getting rid of these heavy thoughts. Okay, we're going to get into that as the first practice of shadow work. I know. How does time go so fast?
I don't know. I keep saying that every day since this year started.
This is unbelievable. So begin your journal, literally. Have a shadow journal. Keep it with you. Now, if you're someone like me, I have a sporadic memory due to an accident of my childhood. So I used to get very excited when I remembered something, and then I would ask my mother. Hence, trigger. My mother isn't here anymore. So, yes, I do talk to spirit. Yes, I can do it, but that's not the point. Anyways,
You are not alone.
the point is she's not there for me to share the memory. She's not there with her reaction, her facial features. I can't see it. I can't like gauge a reaction of this memory that I do have. So I had to redevelop what happened based on childhood pictures. My mother took a lot of pictures. So if I remember something now, I will actually, you know, I can only do so much with my two sisters because they're younger than me. I'm older than them. So I would have like slightly different memories in them. But if I do remember something and they do retain the memory aspect of that, that would be actually good. And I have no idea who this is, and nor am I answering it. So whoever it is can wait. Just stop that. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. So these are things that like I've had to deal with. And what if somebody else out there, they literally have amnesia and one of their triggers, they can't seem to figure them out. Little things. It's like all of a sudden you walk and say the color indigo sparks laughter. Okay, write that down. Indigo sparks laughter. There's a reason. You just haven't hit the reason yet. And this is where I think, I'm guessing, hypnotherapy might come into play. And that's next week.
Actually, a lot of this, and I'm having a really hard time just sitting still here because you can uncover a lot of this during a hypnotherapy session. And you've got somebody like me just to help you and hold your hand and just to sit with you while you work that stuff out.
And that's next week's show. And I know nothing about it. Look how one leads to the others, and then awesome.
It all fits in all this stuff. It's not just like one thing is going to work for everything.
Exactly.
One another thing is going to work for this part. We are just whole, and each part of us like runs into the other and needs the other.
Exactly. And that's why this actually works really, really good together. Another thing you want to keep is you want to keep like your childhood, your roots. Literally, if you want to have several different, what your husband says, what am I doing? Or your wife or girlfriend or whatever says, you know, why are you getting, well, I'm sorry, but I need one for this, one for that, one for this. Just go with it. Anyways, so I'm working on myself. So literally, you can have one just for your childhood roots. And then you can have one for social filtering, because some of us have too much filter, not enough filter when it comes to social. You know, some people be like, they shy away. They're afraid to butt in. And I'm like, girl, just butt in. You know, so I'm one of those blah when I'm here. But when I'm out back in my apartment complex, I stay away from people. Figure that out. But see, I know why. And it took a while for me to figure out why I reacted like that. So that gives you two really cool journals to look at. So, but now we can take the other two and we can put them together, or you can get 4 journals because, just because you want something cool on the cover on each one. So we envy and desires. Okay. Envy and desires. I do envy intelligent people because there is so much I really wish I did back when I had the chance to learn these things, to develop these things, to do these things that I didn't do it. So yeah, I do. I envy people who have more knowledge than me. But this,
Can I
I
pop in with?
understand that. Yes, go right ahead.
I want to say, you could take that envy and use it for inspiration for your own desires to appear and to work towards your own desires.
Bingo. Never ask if he can interrupt. This is our show. Interrupt me anytime you want.
I don't want to talk over you.
Nah, go ahead. Talk over me. Come on. Let's go.
My granddaughter says I do it all the time. I'm like, I had this boss and I would finish his sentences for him. And he would you didn't even let me say anything. I said, well, I knew what you're going to say. It wasn't until this year, the last 2 years, I realized that, oh, you're not supposed to really do that. You let people talk.
See, on this show, we are both ourselves. And sometimes I'll start a thought, but you already have another idea on that thought too. Throw it in there.
Got it.
That's what this show is about. It's not about this way is the right way. No, there's no such thing as one right way.
I just want to give you a chance to finish.
Hey, how many different recipes are there for chocolate chip cookies?
1 million. And you can make your own.
Which one's the right one?
Mm-hmm.
All of them. All of them.
I won't complain. You guys want to send me chocolate chip cookies, I'll eat them.
I prefer peanut butter. Yes.
Those are good too.
I do. But that's what it is. There's not just one right way for everything. And we are all learned differently. We are all different type of learners or different type of people that actually get in there. My God. My God. Also have a dream journal next to your bed.
That's one thing I am so bad about keeping next to my bed.
Now, for those...
And I get up in the middle of the night. I should be doing this. And I'm going to put a big star on the notes I'm taking here.
But there's not just one way. What if you're the type of individual that can't see a thing when you first wake up? Your eyes don't function. You can't order a pencil. And then you can't read your own handwriting after. That would be me. I have a little tape recorder next to my bed. So if I have a memory, a vision, or something, I'll talk into the tape recorder. Then when I'm more awake and can actually function, I will transcribe it.
And nowadays, you can get ChatGPT to transcribe it for you. You don't even have to do that.
Yeah. Or you can go, hey, Siri. No, don't need you right now.
Answer you.
Yeah, my phone answered me. You can do that. And you could say blah, 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 blah. Or you could say take a memo. So these things you can actually do. So it would be fresh in your mind. So if you don't need the paper and pencil aspect of things, I find I can read stuff online, but I prefer to have a printed copy with me always. So even if I am putting together something or I have all my notes and stuff online, I still have a backup printed copy. It's just I can't help it.
My kids I think they said it's a generational thing, but I prefer the paper.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I can't read my handwriting, so I will type it. I got really lousy handwriting. So these are things that happen. Another one is you want to integrate, not eliminate.
I think that's an important point.
Yes.
Every one of those things has a job.
Exactly. The ultimate goal of shadow work is integration, not destruction. We don't want to go into boom and blow stuff up. So your shadow behaves distinctly. What it does is it forms certain things find a positive intent. A trait like stubbornness is just often a disordered protective from strong boundaries, like my control issue. Where did it stem from?
My mom always called me stubborn when I was growing up. And to this day, my stubbornness has helped me accomplish so much. I will keep it. Thank you very much.
So your stubbornness is your boundaries.
And it's one of my superpowers, I think.
There you go. And that's what it is. We all have these things come into play. We have certain boundaries. What other boundaries do you have?
Oh, me?
Yeah, stubbornness. I had a
What
control issue.
what other kind of boundaries do I have? Oh, I'm very protective of my own time, me time, having to have that. I need it. Sometimes I just have to walk away. I love the shed because I can like walk out of the main house, come here, just sit by myself and recharge.
Yeah, and I'm the type that I do better when I multitask. I don't know why. I think that's because I had two younger sisters. I was always there when my mother worked. I was the first one home. So I would do this, that, and the other thing, plus a job and all this. So I got so used to that that I function better if I'm doing a lot at the same time. It's
Yeah.
like if I sit and I'm alone, I think you could say I stew in my own juices. And sometimes that's not good.
I used to, but
Yeah.
through the years, I've
Yeah.
recognized that I need certain things, and me time is one of those. And sometimes I'll just sit out here and just lay down and just think and meditate. And
Yeah.
I don't have a specific meditation program officially, but I meditate in those moments when I have that kind of time, or when I'm outside in the yard or something.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on where you're at. Sometimes I could be at the beach and just listen. I'll take my
Right.
dog outside every morning. I'm just listening to the birds. That can be my form of meditation. Just waking
Yeah.
up, enjoying the sound of the birds, ignoring the traffic on the highway that's not too far, but I'm enjoying the birds, and that's what I choose to focus on. Then I try to pick out what birds are what, because every now and then we get a raven that comes around. Crows. Crows have been around a long time, but all these little different birds, it's just listening to them, listening to their sounds, listening to them communicate, which is what? Listening to the earth. That's like my
Yeah.
ha ha ha.
And not to go off on a complete tangent, but all of those sounds have a different vibration that's healing you in some way, shape, or
Ah, like what?
like, well, there's different vibrations that get to different parts of your body that may be in line in different parts of your chakra. I mean, this
Yep.
could go on get deep, but I believe that when we hear soothing sounds like that, that it is touching a part of us that needs to be
Mhm.
healed, and that is healing and recharging.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like certain people have triggers of like very loud, sudden noises. It bothers them. Why? Well, if you are a veteran that has been to war, we know why. But if you are not a veteran and haven't been to war, you need to dig deep. So there's all these different things to do. Now we got 6 minutes left, and I know I've talked a lot today, and my poor other host hasn't really said much, but I'm gonna give
No,
you
I've said a lot.
guys, I am going to give you guys an assignment. All right. I want you to I want you to gather your comfort container, put it all together. Okay. Once you have your comfort container, I want you to take an ordinary piece of paper or an entire book if you need to, and a pen. Then I want you to sit down with your comfort container. And I want you to write down everything that pisses you off, everything that's ever pissed you off. Because what we need to release is our anger. Once you release the anger first, it is a lot easier for us to see what's really going on. This pissed you off, why it pissed you off, what was around you. Get into details. I don't care if somebody rolled their eyes in the back of their head and you felt like sticking your fingers in there and rolling it down the alley like a ball. Do it. Get it out. Get absolutely everything that's pissing you off out on the paper.
You're
When you're
releasing.
done, completely done. I don't care if takes days. I don't care if it takes a month. Once you guys are done with this, reread what you wrote. Reread it all like you're a third person, just viewing this, because you need to be 100% honest for this to work. Read it as if this is a story. This isn't your life. This is someone else's life that you're reading. And you're just reading it and you're absorbing it. And when you can get to that point where it doesn't affect you and anger you anymore, when you read it, burn it and get rid of it. Literally. Burn it in a fireplace. Burn it in a fire pit. Hell, go to the beach, dig a hole, burn it there.
There you
But
go.
literally, burn it, get rid of it, let it go. And that's a symbol. Again, that's part Celtic, part native symbol of letting things go, is allowing the smoke to take your worries, to take it. What you're doing is you're allowing the smoke to get rid of the anger and take it away from you.
You're releasing.
Exactly. And that's one method. Now, what would be another method for releasing this besides burning papers?
Oh, I think
Right.
bodily, like are dancing or boxing or something physical that can get that off of out of
Boxing.
us. Go out to the, what's that thing that they do now where you axe throwing, or they have these rooms that you can go in there and just destroy everything in there. What rage rooms? That's what it is.
Oh, that brings up an awesome idea. Get these cheap plates at like go to yard sales, pick up penny plates, little cheap plates, everything that has different decorations on them. Get a gigantic garbage barrel. Every time you get pissed off, throw a plate in there, get rid of it. But once you get a nice sized barrel, get yourself a few frames and glue different pieces in together from different types of
Ooh.
plates. You're making a motif. You're
That is a
taking
great
your
idea.
anger and you're putting into something
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So things like that. What else you got? You're giving me
What
ideas
else?
here. What else you got?
I think getting things out physical is a good way. Sometimes doing something creative. I mean, a lot of times if I'm doing something creative, even crocheting, I have sat there and crocheted like for hours, and
Yes.
it's like, okay, but I'm making something beautiful out of something that was frustrating me.
Yes. When I make homemade dough, like bread dough,
Mhm.
when I'm mad, I have a tendency to go, sapoom! I don't want to put my hand in my baking.
And I'm the opposite when I'm
But,
cooking.
you know,
I'm like, I
was
gotta
a
put love
mom,
in it.
so you know you got to get the anger out some way. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Another way I do it.
anything will work. Even going for a
Wintertime.
walk.
Wintertime was
Get it
my
out.
favorite time when I was pissed off with the kids. Snowball fights.
Oh, what a great idea. I wish I had a snowball right now.
Yeah. Why not water balloon fights in the summer?
Oh, that's good too. Yeah.
Why not?
Let us be kids again and
Yeah. I think
Yep.
so. I think so. So, any questions for anybody or any last minute ideas about shadow work? Oh, stay.
The only thing I will pop in here and say is come and learn a little bit about hypnosis next week. Of course, it's a topic that would probably take weeks and weeks and weeks, but I will try to touch on the basics for you.
Yes, because I don't know anything about hypnosis, except when I went to a party when I was a kid and my father was with me and it was for his work. And his boss got hypnotized. They couldn't hypnotize me. His boss got hypnotized and convinced that he didn't have any equipment to be able to go to the bathroom. So he accidentally wet his pants in front of everybody.
Oh,
But that's
no.
about it. That's all I know.
It can be used for fun. I don't know that I would do that to somebody, but oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
There we go. Here we go.
I am so glad you got
I
those
love
little-
these things. Find the fun, guys. Find the joy. Let go of the stuff that just doesn't suit you anymore. And yes, next week,
Yep.
hypnosis or hypnotherapy is what it's called, the technical term, I think. Yes, right?
Hypnosis is fine. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not really planning on doing any heavy hypnotherapy.
But we need to find out what it is.
Sure. I
'Cause
will
I
help
have
you.
no idea what it is.
It
So
can
I
be
might
fun.
actually be quiet mostly during a show.
No, don't
Mark
do
it
that.
on your calendar, guys.
No being quiet.
Damn it. I don't know anything about it.
You do, but you just don't know you do.
I only know meditation stuff. That's it. Meditation I do. Hypnotherapy I can't. People have tried to hypnotize me even to quit smoking and other things. Can't do it. I
We
guess
will
it's
talk.
still part of that control thing, but I guess we'll find out
Yeah, it
next
could
week.
be. Yeah, we'll talk.
Well, we'll talk. So, guys, this is it for another awesome Tuesday show.
A
We
wonderful
are
week.
Cosmic Cushion Podcast, is what we are. So, we will see you. Excuse me. Next week.
Same bat time.
Yep, same bad channel. So I got to say, peace, guys. I'll be seeing ya.
Bye.